congratulations on becoming the new chair of PERC. And how did that happen? Can you describe the path that you took and maybe your passion, to fill that important position with PERC?
Yeah, listen. I'm deeply honored to have the role at PERC. It's such a great organization, has done so much for the industry. I feel like I'm just barely stepping into the shoes of giants that have been in that role. But really, I give a lot of credit to all my fellow counselors, the folks that are on that team that contribute all of their knowledge, wisdom, experience to every single meeting that we have in the council. And then truly the PERC team itself, Tucker, his staff, they do such a marvelous job at keeping everything organized and on the rails. Really, I'm in a fortunate spot. Love the chance to be in this role, but really all those other folks make it easy.
What do you feel you bring to PERC, with your personal skills and your experience? How do you feel, you are set apart in that role?
I have a perspective. Hopefully I've got a different perspective than a lot of other folks. I wear a hat as a marketer's marketer, if you will. That's my background, sort of sales and marketing, although I've got a little bit of finance and everything else. But I like to think that I like to bring the perspective of a customer in, and what do our customers want to see. Gosh, that all of my career in the propane business has been really on that sales and marketing side, and focused on our customers and what do they need and how do they succeed using propane in their day-to-day lives, running businesses, keeping homes warm, all of that. And so hopefully I'm thinking about that and bringing that to the team, and that's the contribution that I'm able to make.
Chris, what was your experience, in ties to PERC prior to becoming chair?
Yeah, so I've been on the council. I guess I just got re-upped in my second term on the council formally. And so 3 years prior on the council, and a year as vice chair prior to that, working with Stuart Weedi, who was absolutely fantastic. Gosh, there's nobody better to learn from in the industry than Stuart. And, I have done that. But even prior to that, I've been engaged with the advisory committees and the different working groups there, which is just such a great way to get involved in PERC and get started, right? So much of what the council does comes out of those working groups. All of those groups need more engagement from folks in the industry. Love to have new blood in those groups, people engaging. PERC love pulling in new volunteers to those groups. So I guess if I'm making a plug, I would love to get more and more engagement with all those different groups. These advisory committees are just a great way to get into PERC. Was for me spectacular learning ground to understand how the organization comes together.
You mentioned Stuart, but I was going to ask, was there anyone from PERC or elsewhere in the industry who really helped you and prepared you for this role as chair?
I can say, I don't know how many other people have this background, but I worked directly for two former PERC chairs. Paula Wilson was my first boss at Amerigas when I was there. She'd been in the marketing role there, and I was sort of a young guy in the industry, and she, was PERC chair, but just a great example of somebody who really helped me understand, what she did in that role. Worked for Daniel Dixon, who was just before Stuart. So Daniel was another one of my bosses and a mentor. Has been super great in that role. Again, helped me sort of understand what he did from a financial perspective. Paula was always very customer focused. Daniel was a finance guy, and then customer focused too. But loved working with those guys and just how they help PERC meet its goals and its mission. I also have to say a lot of credit to a couple other folks that have been really helpful for me along the way. Rob Freeman, been a really great mentor to me the last few years. I've gotten to know Rob really well, also in the PERC chair role. And then Gene Bissell, who's on the board at Superior Plus, where I'm at now, also very, deeply cares about the industry, every single marketer, every single customer, every single stakeholder throughout the entire industry. All of those folks I owe a debt of gratitude to for helping me learn the industry, get engaged with PERC, and like I said, I'm just fortunate to play the role I'm in now. So
definitely some big names there. I was going to say, just as far as, getting involved in the industry, just being around them, then you just kind of had a notion that, they were so involved that, that was maybe the path that you wanted to follow as well.
Yeah, I've seen the impact that PERC makes, from products to safety to, what the organization does to try to make all of us successful. It's such a unique group, right? That we all pool our common resources together and come together. And these are our competitors, and we all compete, but we all pull together. And in PERC, you've got an organization that you bring out more cooperation than anything else. It's just incredible to see what the organization's been able to do to make us safer, to give customers new applications, to develop new products. Right? No one individual marketer would ever be able to pull that off, and yet with PERC and sharing those resources, you're able to do that. It's just such a great way to experience the industry, and be a part of growing it for all of us.
Now, is it 1 or 2 year term for you?
I think I'm stuck for 2, but
Are you?
no,
Okay.
no, but no, truly, I am. I'm looking forward to it because I think it was a great. I think that the goal being right to get your feet under you to understand what it is, and truly, I think the continuity with PERC. Like I said, I've been around for a little bit now between being on the council and then some of the advisory committees and things like that. I believe that the strategic plan that the council has now, the priorities, the initiatives, if you're going to sum it up, users and uses, how do we grow that for the industry, right? Just to continue that focus on what is going to drive those things forward for the industry. That's what I hope I can continue to give that team stability and we all drive towards those common goals. So yeah, looking forward to it. No, I think I am. I really am. I think 2 years is going to go by super quick.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what goals you have for yourself and for PERC during that time. I think you just kind of answered that there, but anything else that you look to accomplish here in the next couple of years?
My goodness, yeah, I think we are at the cusp of some really exciting things at PERC and at the industry as a whole. And so whatever I can do to help kind of drive it, and specifically, I'm really thinking about sort of renewable propane these days. The opportunity for us as an industry to see that go from a very little bit today to something that I think is going to be a pretty substantial amount, and something that I think is really vital to the longevity of the industry and sort of what we do. And it has the potential to cut across all the different applications and all the different marketers. And really, we are just at the very beginning of that. And I hope that over the next 2 years, I get to see how that grows, and hopefully do my part to help encourage it. I think we are, as an industry, really at an interesting crossroads. Like I said, I mentioned, all the opportunities with renewable propane that I think are out there. But we've got threats that we've got to work together towards as well, right? There are, challenges and issues from regulatory pressures, that are different maybe than what we faced in the past. And, as we all work together as an industry to kind of solve those things, I am truly optimistic. I do, I think a lot of folks feel that stuff. There's macroeconomic things and interest rates that affect everybody who's running a business as a small market or large, right? All those things that are sort of out there. But I am, optimistic about the future of what our fuel is and what it can be, right? We've got, a track record of, keeping our customers and homes warm, businesses running, forklifts moving, all of those things that we've done as an industry. And I believe we've got the growth to continue that over the next 20, 30, 40 years and beyond, right? So it's exciting. Again, time of change, time of flux, but optimistic about where we're all headed.